Hey guys, wanted to talk to you about this Scorpio full moon. I was planning on making this video either yesterday or the day before yesterday, but just didn't get a chance to. So it did happen. When was it? It was yesterday afternoon, I believe. But the first 3 days are the most intense that we'll be feeling the full moon in Scorpio, and it is technically, we will feel the presence of the Scorpio full moon for about 2 weeks until the next lunation cycle at the Taurus new moon. So this full moon in Scorpio is very much, bringing up deep hidden layers that have laid underneath the surface, that have basically laid dormant in our lives. And there can be a lot of revitalization after the turmoil has broken through past the surface. This full moon is also, it's within square to Pluto in Aquarius. And this is kind of doubling down on some of the transformative tensions that we may be experiencing right now. And not only that, but being that it's square to the Pluto in Aquarius, it's also helping to aid the progression of humanity to feel pressured to authenticate itself as a unit. So with the Pluto square, all of humanity is kind of experiencing a collective effect of that, feeling the pressure to authenticate itself as an entire unit, in a sense. But we all have our roles individually in it. And the ruler of this full moon, which is Mars, I use traditional rulership, although I don't ignore the connection that Pluto already has with Scorpio. It's a transcendental connection that I use the outer planets for, instead of actual modern rulers, to the signs of Pisces, Aquarius, and Scorpio. Pluto being for Scorpio. But Mars, the traditional ruler, is sitting in Aries, which is a fellow home sign of Mars as well. So it's sitting there domicile. And then this Mars and Aries can be, a little bit too action-oriented in a bold, impulsive way for its own good. But it's very pure, and it's very commanding and conclusive and dominant in Aries, because it's domicile. It's in the planet that it rules, and it's kind of common right now to be feeling some brooding, simmering, seething frustrations and anger that may just end up bursting out. Because with the Scorpio full moon, we have that brooding, simmering, seething, and then with the Aries Mars energy, it's just gonna, come out. Whatever goes in the head of Aries energy will come out the mouth of the Aries energy. So, not only that, but the thing is, this ruler of this full moon, Mars, is also making a square to Jupiter in Cancer. And this is creating frictions with our beliefs, morals, and growth that may maybe getting us where we're almost feeling like we're doing something against, feeling the urge or the temptation to do something that goes against, what it is that we truly believe, our morale and our growth in life, our expansion. Or it's directly challenging us how we are required to react to it. And these situations are more likely to happen within the home family area, being that Jupiter and Cancer. So, all in all, I think that this Scorpio full moon is, for the next 2 weeks or so until the Taurus new moon, is bringing, is really helping us to purge impurities at a deep soul level. And the thing is, with Scorpio energy in itself, we tend to go too extreme. The reason why Scorpios have to go through transformation and major upheavals and just intense encounters and situations in life is because they're too extreme. They're not balanced. Venus, the planet of balance, is in detriment in Scorpio. It has a hard time controlling excess and extremities, and life doesn't want you to be too extreme. Life wants you to be balanced, so it has to strip things away from you. And sometimes we don't realize that's what we need and what's good for us until after the fact. And that's why I've said that in this video that, after the turmoil has broken through past the surface, we can, experience revitalization and regeneration and new life. That is, typically Scorpio. But Scorpios often quarrel with the spirits they call, because with this energy being fully illuminated, we may be forced to let go of something that is causing us too much obsession or too much energy that is not balanced. It's not balanced properly. It's too much of a life and death feeling, and life doesn't want you to care that much. Life wants you to care, but not that much. They want to balance. And that's why Scorpios their soul has to be tested through these extremes until they can balance themselves out and, be kind of pull into some of the opposite of their Taurus Venus energy, where they can just kind of sit back, smell the roses, be calm, be patient, know that things happen, in due time, and just go with the process. Where they're not trying to control and obsessively, feel like everything is a life and death matter. And that's basically what we may experience too with this full moon is the people that done us wrong may be showing through and getting theirs. And then the challenge with especially having the ruler Mars in that square to Jupiter, the challenge is that we may be tempted, like I said, to go against our beliefs, or be urged to, retaliate in some way, like a Scorpio. But instinctively, underneath it, we may actually feel the need to take the higher road. And that's what we should do. Taking the high road to forgive and to fully let go and embrace a new chapter, because Scorpio is very much about transformation, creating new chapters. A Scorpio full moon or new moon in itself kind of has eclipse-like energy because of that feeling. And the moon in Scorpio is already fall, so we do struggle with our extremities of emotions, because the moon is our emotions and Scorpio is extremes. And the moon is very fast and changing, so these moods just can kind of, people with Scorpio moons can just have things that just twist and turn in them so severely all of a sudden, and then it can pass, but they still have a hard time fully letting go. And I think that, yes, I think that this is very much a full moon that is going to help us eradicate the impurities and relieve a lot of, like, there's going to be like a soul, emotional soul dumpage of impurity, and we must not repeat some of the more negative Scorpio qualities like this. There's just no room in this higher vibration that is rising on this planet to be going into these destructive, dark forces of Scorpio power struggles and power games. They're actually starting to become tired now in life, and even the ones that are toxic, that love it, are they're running out of places to run, places to hide, and they are going to need to knock their shit off because the real bare truth will be stripped and come to rise up to the surface, and it'll be known, and this energy will tend to authenticate and purify itself. So with that said, I think I'll leave it there with the Scorpio full moon. I do want to make a video on Uranus and Gemini, which happened last week. Uranus moved into Gemini, but it's not going to go anywhere for a while. It'll be there for the next 7 years or so. So stay tuned for that. But I will leave it here. So for all of you, don't just take care, but take care too. And I'll see you on the next video.